Hey guys, I want to share the process of sewing this dress with you. I'm also sharing this pattern with you. You can download it in the link below. First, make sure that you're printing at a 100% scale. I would suggest that you print the first page to test the dimensions. The first line should measure 5 centimeters. The second line should measure 4 inches. Great, once you have confirmed this, go ahead and print the rest of the pages. Again, make sure that you're printing at 100% scale. For reference, I'll be using a size 4, but make sure that you refer to the measuring chart. Half-inch seam allowance is already included. Line everything up, make sure the pages don't overlap, just place them edge to edge. Make sure that you follow the directions and cut the front on the fold. Once you have cut your size, make sure the notches match. Next, I'm going to cut out my dart. So at the last minute, I decided that I wanted my dress longer than I had originally planned. So here I am adding 3 inches to the length. I'll do the same to the back. If you're happy with the length, you can keep it as is. Make sure you transfer all your notches. I'm transferring the dart to the other side of the fabric. Pin and sew the darts. Once you have sewn the front darts, make sure you press them towards the waist. You can press the back darts in just the normal way. I searched the back of the dress to prepare it for the zipper. This is my favorite way of sewing an invisible zipper, but feel free to use any method. I placed the 2 back panels right sides together. I just laid the zipper on top and I marked just a little bit before the zipper ends. From here to the mark, I'm gonna sew a long basting stitch, no back stitch. We will be removing this stitch shortly. Now go ahead and stop, change your stitch to number 2.5, whatever stitch length you normally use. Go ahead and back stitch and sew all the way down. Open the seams and place the zipper over the seams. I'm gonna go ahead and hand baste it in place. Now with the seam ripper, rip the long number 5 stitch open. Now I'm going to go ahead and take it to my sewing machine and use an invisible zipper foot. We can go ahead and remove the basting stitch, and the zipper is all done. Now I'm going to go ahead and sew the shoulder and the sides. Again, make sure the notches match. I'm going to be doing a bias facing to finish both the neckline and the armhole. I measured the neckline and cut out a bias strip that is 2 inches wide and the length that I just took plus 2 inches. Press the bias strip wrong sides touching and place it on the neckline like this, with the folded edge facing away from the neckline. Pin it in place and sew at 1/2 inch seam allowance. Cut down the seam allowance to about 1/4 inch. And now you can go ahead and clip or make little notches around the neckline. This is just so it lays nice and flat. Press the bias tape towards the seam allowance and edge stitch. Now you want to go ahead and fold it like this. I finished with a hand stitch for a neater look, but you can use a sewing machine as well. Now I'll go ahead and repeat the process for the armhole. I'll measure, cut a bias strip 2 inches wide, the length that I just took plus 2 inches. When you start sewing, make sure that you leave about 1/4 inch like this. Sew at 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now determine where you need to sew to close your bias tape. Sew closed. Trim seam allowance to 1/4 inch. And cut little notches again so it lays nice and flat. Press the bias tape towards the seam allowance and sew an edge stitch. Fold it in and finish by hand or on your machine. Finally, the hem. I folded 1/2 inch twice and finish with a hand stitch. Again, feel free to use your sewing machine. This is how the finishing looks on the inside of the dress. And this is the dress. I hope you like it.